fades
Yeah,
out,
right.
and here we are.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the number one Star Trek podcast recorded in this area of Van Nuys. Thanks so much for coming out. This is Season 2, Episode 3. My name's Adam Ordahl Quinnell. I'm here with my co-host with the Mo-host.
Hey, this is Al Hirt.
Al Hirt. Hello.
What's up?
Welcome to another week. If you're new to the show, it's weird that you would start with episode 3 of season 2.
Hey, here we are.
Welcome.
What's up?
We are a casual Star Trek The Original Series recap podcast. Why recap something that's 70 years old, you ask? Well,
Because it's just that good.
I have had several people tell me they find our recaps delightful.
Yeah, our conversations at work are funny.
Little Miss or Mr. what have you. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about an episode of Star Trek, the original series, as we do every week. We are not we're not an encyclopedic.
Disclaimer, we're not experts here.
We're not experts. We didn't get our degrees in Star Trek down at the old Academy University. You know, we just like it. We like to get a little buzz on and watch a Star Trek and talk about it. And today so last week, we discussed Who Mourns for Adonis.
Yeah, why did they say Who Mourns for Adonis? I mean, I guess it's like
I think
a phrase
Apollo
of like,
is Adonis.
Who mourns for like the gods, I guess, after.
And also how they spelled it with the AIS. See, if we were an encyclopedic podcast, we would have had that shit.
Yeah, true.
But instead, you will be delighted by our bumbling.
Yeah.
We
Google
are
it.
We are the plucky bumblers of Star Trek podcast, and goddamn it,
Bumbling around here.
And so this week, last week, Who Mourns for Adonis? It was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
It was slow. It was 2 locations. They really,
Well, this is just a ship. Oh, there's more shit going on,
you
dude.
got me.
I know, but there's more shit going on this one.
Yeah, but I'm an idiot. You're right.
There's less shit happening in the last one than this one.
Definitely.
At least mentally.
And also, this has an IG-88
Yeah,
torso.
that's true.
So
that was funny when you said that.
This is the episode titled The Changeling. Mm-hmm. It aired for the first time ever on September 29th, 1967.
67,
Which is actually going to be pretty close to when this episode comes out. If we actually do start on the day we're going to start, this might be airing around this,
the
28th or 29th.
Yeah,
like Sunday,
right,
that's Sunday. But anywho, and also our podcast usually drops on Sundays unless there's a special occasion. And today we're talking about this episode, The Changeling. Now, we also, one of my favorite parts of this podcast, the little thing I call the Paramount Plus synopsis of the episode, they are able to get, because we spend 30 or 40 minutes talking through the episode, and they do the whole thing in a sentence, and it fucking rules every time. So the synopsis for this week's episode is, the Enterprise encounters a probe named NOMAD.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty it.
End of podcast. What are your recommendations for what to watch or listen to this week? That's it. And it's kind of we find out that the title is based on an old Earth fairy tale about changelings who replace human babies.
Jeez.
This has nothing to do with any of that. It's such a weird fucking comparison that the writer made. They're really reaching. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So the episode starts
they're just flying around.
Well, what are
doing their thing?
They are searching. They're going to check in on a civilization of people in a star system. Oh yeah,
that's right.
And they are surprised that there are no signals or life signs in the star system. And it is a star system that is home to roughly 4 billion motherfuckers. 4 billion motherfuckers are missing.
Yeah.
And the Enterprise is like, where they at?
Where'd they go?
This system reveals no sign of life. Well, that can't be. The last census reported a total inhabitation of more than 4 billion people. I registered no life readings at all, sir.
But it's all just like very kind of eerie at first, and just they're trying to figure out what could have happened, and there's no background radiation. They basically,
It's like if you showed up to Earth or to the Milky Way and there was just no life signs.
Oh yeah, that'd be eerie.
Yeah, it's like when
Just silent.
It's like when you show up at your house and like the power went out, so all the clocks are off. It's fucking creepy, you know. It's like
I don't know about 4 billion people and clocks though.
well, you know how like when you wake up after like an emergency happened at night and everything's off. Oh, it's so
it's
eerie.
uneasy. Yeah, it's uneasy. But anywho,
this is something I actually
So the other thing you got to mention too is
go for
someone's missing here. In this episode too.
No, Chekhov.
Yeah,
Chekhov, check out.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Chekhov check out for an episode.
Yeah.
He must have been doing a Trapper John or something where they needed a Russian. So one thing that I found, so the Enterprise crew is they're scanning for life signs, and then Sulu says, "Sir, the shields just snapped on. Something is approaching," which made me think, have we ever seen the shields just snap on before?
What did he even mean by that? Just
here's
turned on?
Here's what it means. You know how normally you say shields and they turn on the shields?
Yeah.
Well, this is the ship sensed something coming and turned on the shields automatically. Like, is that a thing? I've never
automatically.
I've been watching this ship for 20 years
That's
or whatever.
True. I've
30
never
years.
heard of that.
And
like the way you said it snapped on, it's just like glasses.
That's what he says too. He says the shields just snapped on.
Weird.
And then there's a something approaching at multi-warp speeds at warp 15
and we saw
or something.
We saw the CG comparison to this too, and it is night and day. Like the CG, they worked so hard to make this look fucking terrifying and cool.
It's so funny that in the last episode of this podcast, I was like, it's so hard to find these side by sides. No, it's not at all. Al is of the YouTube generation. He just pulled it up and did the tube.
Yep.
And then we had perfect side by sides of every CG remastered shot of any episode.
Turns out some guy just did his homework for all 3 seasons. But anywho.
So the energy blast that's approaching at multi-warp speeds, which is also a term I've never really heard.
15, right?
Later, it's warp. Energy weapons move at warp 15. So this energy weapon looks like a big angry green anus.
It's so cool though how like
pulsing.
the heat's like pulsing and there's like whips of fire and heat coming off of it.
And as you said in the comparison, the original it was just
like
a white light. It's like it's literally them like pushing a light closer to the camera. So great upgrade there, Star Trek.
It's very intimidating.
And so they get hit by one of these, then they get hit by another one, and Scotty is like, "Look, we can take 3 more of those blasts or whatever, and then we're
otherwise
fucked."
We're screwed.
And they finally target the source of the energy blast. They hit it with everything they've got. Nothing happens. It absorbs their energy, and they're like, "What the fuck could absorb all this energy?" And this already is starting to remind me of Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh, because of what?
Of the probe.
Yeah.
The big
feature.
Yeah. Exactly. So like when the Klingons come upon it. Yeah. Remember, and they get destroyed.
Oh, that's right.
So they start trying to communicate with this thing out there that they don't even know what it is yet. They just start putting out their signal.
Right. They put it out on all frequencies.
And this is where some cool sci-fi shit happens that I really great title card, even though it's just a regular. Every one of these remastered title cards I want framed.
Cool. Yeah.
Like HD printed out, nice print of it framed and just like everywhere in the fucking like in the studio, dude. They're so rad. But no Chekhov. Who's this fucking Buster? It makes me think
there's no funny quips.
It makes me think, did they film this last year? If we that's and so basically it's actually Spock that says they can only take 3 more blasts on the 4th. Our shields will shatter completely. And they're just this is
they're
when they
trying to understand what they're saying, right?
Well, no, we haven't got that. That's what I've been stammering over this whole time. This is our second episode we're recording today, and I'm exhausted. So for minus 1 world problems. So they keep getting they get a signal finally.
Yeah.
And it's real fast. They say it's some sort of binary, but then they say it's multiple things.
It's a math.
And then they say it went down to 1 binary. And then it's going faster, or then it goes slower. But then, like, Uhura and Spock, they start vibing on it. Like they figure it out together.
Yeah.
That it's saying repeat in some old planetary code, not Starfleet code.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of math formulas that they had to resolve and figure out, right?
Kirk's like, repeat what?
Repeat what I said?
Repeat what I said about us being peaceful. And so basically they're just trying to get to the source of this energy. And once they finally find it, it is something that's like a meter long and like 500 kilograms.
Yeah, and it was a fraction of a meter long.
Yeah.
And he's like, what could be that heavy but that small?
Oh, this is still just them shooting at it when it absorbs everything. Got to fast forward.
But it's such a good line, though, where he goes, weight 500 kilograms, height no more than a quarter over a meter. And Scotty's like, what kind of intelligent life could be in something that small? And Spock was like, intelligence doesn't require bulk.
Fuck you,
and
Scotty.
I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty clever.
Well, Scotty is Scottish, so you can't really explain. I'm sorry to our Scottish listeners, but you're subhuman.
His head's still tingling from Apollo's lightning.
Oh, yeah, and Scotty gets it in this one, too. I was kidding about Scottish, too, by the way. You're great. I enjoy your... I'm sure I've enjoyed something Scottish at some point in my life. Scrooge McDuck. There you go. And look at that not Chekhov motherfucker looking around all scared.
I know. Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah, I was really confused by that. But anywho.
But so they finally, they're like, we're going to beam this thing aboard because it can't go inside it, obviously.
Oh, yeah, they're talking with each other, though, at that point.
Yeah, they're communicating back and forth.
And he's like, well, go on our ship. And he's like, your ship's tiny. We literally cannot fit on it. So why don't you come on ours? And he goes, well, all right.
And so then they say, we're going to lock onto your ship.
What the fuck? You're going to put this thing on our ship? And he's like, well, I mean, there's no other way to talk to it. So
this is the first time we get, so they're communicating with what they don't know what it is yet. This thing that's a meter long and 500 kilograms, but he's come aboard your ship. Non sequitur. It says non sequitur.
Your facts are uncoordinated.
Your fact, and it's so this we get into. Oh God, this episode fucking rules.
Yeah.
It's so much better than Who Mourns for Adonis.
Yeah.
Like even though I thought that was fun to watch, it's just like I'm thinking about everything that happens in the future of this episode, and it makes sense why they would kind of go back to something like this for the motion picture. Because this is like quintessential Star Trek story.
Something that isn't human.
Exactly.
Something that they can't figure out immediately.
Exactly. And the reason that they need him to come over is because when they try to send it data, it sucks the data out too fast and shuts down some of their systems.
Stuff, yeah.
And it's gross. He's like, it looks like we can pump it out. they can suck it out faster than we can pump it out. It's disgusting. Disgusting. So they bring this thing on board. And it is some great special effects.
It's so cool. This practical effect really freaked me out because there's just, I don't know. I was expecting to see little people, but you just see this weird kind of IG-88 totem pole of a thing, right? It looks like a server.
And it's floating it's about a meter tall and it's floating about a meter off the ground.
They're all just uncomfortably looking.
It's got a little antenna like Bender from Futurama on the top of its head.
Yeah.
And it has classic robot voice. Oh, what I was trying to say about how it says your facts are uncoordinated or non sequitur. It's like the stereotypical robot would say does not compute or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we find out that this is a robot that's merged with an alien robot probe, as we find out in the end, it makes sense that its language is off. And, its memory banks are damaged. So I think that there's a lot to the choices that they made with this robot, who will find their name out in a moment.
Yeah, they say it a lot.
This robot's dialogue. But they're introducing themselves to the robot. The robot looks great. It's also got it's in the main column of its chest. has like holes in it that you see flickering, like robots in the 60s when you'd like wind it up and it would like go and you'd like see it flicker. And the Nomad wants to see star charts to see where they're from.
Yeah, and they're all just trying to calm everybody down, and he's saying, well, we could look at our star charts and see where you're coming from, but the whole thing, he goes, you have your facts are uncoordinated. It reminded me of like you have alternative facts, like you have wrong facts, you're inaccurate.
Yep.
And it's just like already,
and this
going
is
through a logical way. And Scotty's like, that's a machine, though.
And this is
that's not a person.
The first time that we get a little inkling of him and what he thinks about biological beings. He said, I have no parasitical beings inside of me.
That's right.
So he says right there, I contain no parasitical beings.
Weird.
So he thinks of like them inside the ship as
already
parasitical
infectious.
beings already. I am NOMAD.
Yeah, we hear NOMAD a lot.
Obviously, a NOMAD is somebody who travels, like who
from
has
place
no
to place.
home.
Yeah,
and so that's what this thing has been floating through space. But they think they think something we can never forget when we're watching this episode.
Yeah,
is they think that this robot killed 4 billion people.
Ooh,
and so
true.
they're very nervous around him because he could just kill the shit out of them. And he does, as we see later.
He does.
And then Kirk nails it. He says, wasn't there a probe called NOMAD launched in the early 2000s that was reportedly destroyed in an asteroid strike?
There was no more in the series.
He's like,
That's
wasn't
weird.
I'm just so happy that I remember things that are important to the plot.
Dude, it's like Kirk is such an idiot sometimes, but then like he remembers all those crazy Starfleet facts that just happen to be what they run into.
He is a total dork for history.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a total fucking dork for Starfleet history. He's a good captain, He knows his shit.
He is an idiot. Oh my gosh, he's so brutal though.
How uneasy they are as nomads floating around is just great. The look on Kirk's face.
That's right, because Kirk's like, oh, we'll bring you to Star Trek. And he's like, oh, no need. And Nomad just starts floating.
Terrifying.
I can go.
That's they thought that he was just going to stay in that one place and they were going to bring stuff to him. It's like, no, this thing that killed 4 billion people or whatever they were can float around and do its own shit.
Yeah, this episode's like, what is it? You feel uneasy this whole episode, It's more like he's got like a giant, shotgun and he's pointing it at everybody's face.
He's a fucking serial
as he's
killer.
Going through the
ship.
ship.
It's like a Hannibal.
Yeah.
Like you're, but you know that he's eaten 4 billion people.
Oh my gosh.
The star chart. So they show him the star chart and it looks fucking awesome, dude. It is so like it's just a poster. I love the effects that lights though as he talks. The lights in
Nomad talks,
Nomad's chest, in his torso.
It's like that extra organ Apollo has.
Yeah. Yep. Reference to last episode. We're professionals.
Yep.
So basically, he says fucking Nomad. He shows them the star chart, and Nomad has a lot of knowledge about that. He said, "Oh, your son." I love how Kirk says, "Our son is called Sol."
Duh, because Spanish took over the language of the planet Earth,
and so just the fact that Nomad knows about Earth is pretty scary.
Yeah,
and then he says, "If you're from the third rock from that sun, that planet is called Earth." And Kirk's like, "Yes."
Okay,
and he says, you are the creator. You are the Kirk.
Yeah, the Kirk.
The Kirk.
Because it's how he introduced himself initially, right? When they're trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
As they were getting shot at or destroyed.
So and also he says the bones. It looks like Nomad has the power to scan you and know everything about you. And then also he's an expert judge of character because he refers to everybody as units. Like Kirk, is this one of your biological units? And he says that Bones, this unit acts irrationally.
Yeah, and Bones is like, 4 billion people, what the fuck?
Dude.
And he's like, no, just chill.
His function is to probe for biological infestations.
Yeah.
And if I'm a human and I hear a robot that killed 4 billion people saying they do you just probe? What do you, let's say, so
They're
Nomad.
not there, dude.
Nomad, I have some questions. So Nomad, so if you probe, okay, and you find one of these infestations, like, what do you do next? And then he says, sterilization.
It's kind of like how, again, just keep referencing last episode where he goes, oh yeah, we didn't really die, but we just kind of floated away and disappeared. You mean died? Yeah. And he's like, I sterilized it. It's kind of like how Nomad's just kind of saying, I didn't really kill them. I just did my prime function, which is to sterilize errors. These 4 billion people were errors. And like, oh, this line's so great too, though, because Kirk is like, hey, but you keep calling me the creator. Are you sure you're not wrong or something? And Nomad's like, am I wrong? And Spock's like, no, you're good.
No.
He's the creator. He was just testing your databanks.
Testing your memory banks. You're good. You know,
And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Kirk's an idiot. I forgot.
I fucking love it.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Oh, it's so funny, though.
And honestly, Nomad goes, you are right to test my memory banks. There was a lot of damage in the accident. I got pretty fucked up.
Yeah, and then he goes, Mr. Singh, I'm just going to leave you with this. I'll be right back. And he's like, what the fuck?
Poor Mr. Singh.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I think this is what you'll check out.
So he just leaves. So Spock, Kirk, and Bones, they just leave engineering with Mr. Singh,
a fucking weapon.
Poor Mr. Singh, one of the only non-white people we've seen other than who are in a while.
Surprised,
It's like, oh, not too well.
Indian,
I don't know. It might be from Pakistan. I don't know. Yeah. But this Singh fellow is being left alone with a murderous robot that killed 4 billion people.
He's like, you got this, right? Peace.
and now I want to be on Mr. Singh's side, but as we see, the moment he has to turn away from Nomad, he does, and immediately Nomad like the way that Nomad cheeses
it's like comedic.
Dude, I fucking love I know he's a murderous robot that killed 4 billion people, but I think Nomad kicks ass, dude. He's just a little fucking scamp.
He does what he wants when he wants.
Yeah, he's like an Adult Swim character.
Yeah,
he's like Master Shake, but or
a murderous Master Shake.
So they're talking about the Nomad probe, but the mission was peaceful. So what's up with all the sterilization? Cuts to Mr. Singh taking a peek at the Nomad.
This is weird.
You look like some kind of deadly probe, and then Nomad lights up a little bit, and that's it.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable though, just seeing like their interaction with this robot, because you can't, there's no eyes, there's no face. You just kind of just guessing.
Yeah, you're really carrying.
Like, you know what? I'll just do my own thing.
It's funny because the awkwardness of the situation, he does a good job playing it in his face, and that's, as an actor, when you're playing off an inanimate object like that, you really feel like you need to pick up the fucking slack, and they did a really good job. I actually think that. Let me see. Who is Mr. Singh?
Oh, right. And then this is how it happens. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Singh is talking to Uhura over the intercom, and she's like, all right, we're just going to do, like some utility check. And he's like, all right, give me a second, though. I just got to make sure these senses are right. Yeah. And Uhura's like, all right, cool. Go do your thing. Take your time. And she starts singing.
Yes. I love when Uhura sings.
And then that's why, this is the third time she sings, right? Yes,
third, I believe.
And then the Nomad's like, what is that? And he just pops up and dips.
Cheeses it. So McKee K. Blaisdell played Singh.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I thought that he did. Let's see what else he was in. We're consulting the IMDb. He was in Mission Impossible as a guard, as Marito, and as a soldier. The original Mission Impossible television show, mind you.
Okay.
He was in an episode of Ironside, which is about a cop in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I've heard that as a joke more as than the actual show.
He did 2 episodes of Star Trek, so we'll see him again. He did an I Spy. he was a television character actor for a
Efficient
few years
actor.
at the end of the 60s, the beginning of the 70s. So good for him. And that ends my little IMDb corner.
He'll be forever in the Enterprise history here.
Exactly. The memory alpha, as they call it. That's what the
really?
Star Trek wiki is. It's called memory alpha.
Oh, okay.
Anyways. So they leave. So Singh's got some shit to do now. And Nomad is listening to the bewitching siren song
so
of
pretty, though.
Uhura. And it's her weird space opera singing that she does. I fucking love it.
But yeah, I feel like anything would be attracted to that, though.
But yeah, especially
Whether good
even
or
a
bad.
robot.
Yeah. See?
Yep. And there's a good shot of Singh through like a fence, and then it's just hilarious that Nomad just bounces. It's just
yeah. And as this is happening, Kirk, Spock, and Bones are figuring out like, oh, his name is Kirk. He was a pretty smart guy.
Well, what was the guy? Jackson
Roy Kirk. And he goes, Roy Kirk.
Yeah, Jackson Roy Kirk is the person who designed Nomad, the Nomad probe in the early 2000s. And so that's why Nomad thinks, what a coincidence.
Yeah, holy shit.
So if his name so his name would have to be Kirk or Roy or Jack or Jackson. And if they didn't have anybody with those names on the ship that finds this probe, they'd be blown fucked.
Up. Yeah, that's true.
What a coincidence.
It's like Khan, when they visit that one planet instead of the other. What was the planet called?
This is Omicron Persei 6. But so now they're saying,
what a weird coincidence.
They're talking the big three that are trying to figure this out are talking about how what's the other that Nomad talks about. Nomad references he had a contact with an other, and then there was damage, and they're just trying. They think that Nomad's seeking out perfect life forms, which with relentless logic, and of course, humans are not perfect life forms.
Well, yeah, and also the fact that it was like, Bones was saying he was supposed to be one of the probes to find new life in general. And then Spock was like, yeah, I got fucked up at some point, and it's just looking for perfect life instead of new life.
Exactly.
And as this is all happening, they're just like, oh, thank God Mr. Singh has Nomad. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, we just got word from Mr. Singh that Nomad's no longer in the auxiliary room.
And he shows up on the bridge because that's where Uhura is singing from.
Yep.
And then he blasts Uhura with a beam.
Oh my God, it's so fucked up.
He basically extracts all of her memories.
Yeah, so he
zaps her brain. He zaps her brain and erases her memory. Mm-hmm. And then Scotty comes running in and gets blasted.
And he flies again over a railing. He does a backflip.
And he's dead. Scotty is fucking dead. He's dead, Jim. Here it is. He's dead, Jim.
Oh my God.
And Scotty's dead.
He's dead.
Imagine
Jim.
Watching this when you're a kid and you like Star Trek.
Oh my God. And your favorite character
or even
is
if
Scotty.
you're like us and you're like, you got home from work and you're stoned on your swag that you got from a guy in a parking lot of a thing.
He's dead, Jim.
He's dead. Oh no, Scotty's fucking dead, dude. No. Oh no. That unit was my chief engineer.
Yeah, right. Dude,
totally meaningless to
so
Nomad
fucked
probe.
Up that Uhura just got. That's painful to watch.
The crew just got fucking routed in a second. Like their chief engineer was killed, and their communications officer had her memory banks deleted.
And this threat just seems a lot more awful than, again, the last episode of Apollo. That's why we're so much more entertained by this, because like the threat's real. It's on their ship. They can't really go anywhere.
Which they couldn't with the Adonis episode either, but it just feels
a little closer.
It feels more immediate. Yeah, closer. Exactly. Same thing you said.
Intimate.
And this is where we get the resurrection of Scotty.
Yeah.
Because basically he says, hey, you want me to repair your dead unit? And Kirk's like, yeah, I mean, if you can, sure, fucking do it. So this is where, so Bones is like, well, what tapes do I got to give Nomad so he knows how to rebuild Scotty?
Oh,
We'll give him. So then they got to give him, like, I thought they were just going to hook Nomad up to like a little hose or something.
It's like this and What Happens to Ahura. They could both be like 2 episodes in and of itself. Because like he resurrects the dead.
Oh, yes.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. If I was writing Strange New Worlds, I would have Ahura lose all of her memory and then have to be re-educated.
Yeah.
And that would be and there would be a B story, but so then he gets all the tapes, the nervous system, the biological, how the poop hole works, all the stuff. And then does he zap Scotty with a beam?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to get to it.
I think he goes over this. Yeah, he goes, go to sick bay and do that shot of Nomad following Bones to this elevator. Is like, everyone's like, oh God, what the fuck is this thing?
Al, that's why.
It's hilarious.
That's why you're the co-host with the Mo-host, man, because we got to talk about how Nomad moves and how the camera follows him.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different ways that Nomad works on camera. He's either hanging from a thread. If you have to see underneath him, he's hanging from a thread. If you can only see over him, he's on a stand.
Yeah.
But then they also have one that's attached to a dolly and the camera is fixed behind him, so you get like the Nomad POV of him like cruising through the Enterprise. It's really like a horror movie kind of in the second half. Like it's like Child's Play or something.
It kind of reminds me too of what Sam Raimi eventually does, with Evil Dead and just using the camera as an advantage to like, go after people, right?
Yeah.
And you see the POV, right?
And also it locks you, it's like adds a level of kind of claustrophobia to your audience.
Discomfort too.
It locks them in. You don't...
you see everybody turning away from him too. They're just like, oh, what the fuck? Why is it moving?
Yeah, it's unsettling to see. It's unsettling to see something float. I've never in my life really seen anything float.
That'd be weird.
Even in space, it would bump. It would be creepy. And now I think we have to talk about the resurrection of Scotty because he resurrects Scotty, and now Scotty wakes up.
Wait. How does he do it though?
I think he just
like
floats by him. Oh, and then you see So the levels on the thing are saying Scotty's totally dead. In the original series, you've got their EKG or whatever is like the little arrows next to the meters, and they're all at the bottom. The robot comes in, hovers next to him, and then they go up.
Yeah, he just
then Scotty wakes
shoots
up.
Him.
And he was
what the fuck?
He was dead. That man saw the Black Mountain. He fucking carried his grief over the cliff. He fucking slayed the dragon that lets you into heaven or whatever. And then they fucking was
really cold.
Yeah, or he went to hell where you go for hitting on your subordinate officer, Carolyn.
Right.
And this is great. So Scotty's like, what the fuck just happened to me, man? What the fuck, man? And Kirk goes, I'll let Bones explain it. Peace out.
I got to keep an eye on Nomad here.
And Nomad's like he is back to what he was. And Bones is like, well, I'm still gonna take a look. And Nomad's like, you don't have to. He's perfect. And Bones is like, I'm still gonna fucking check it out, Nomad.
Because I'm the doctor here.
And now they bring him over to Ahura and they say repair that unit. That's not damaged as much as the other unit was.
Impossible.
And he goes, impossible. The memory banks have been deleted.
Yeah, right. He goes, the unit Scott just had simple structural damage.
Yeah, simple structural damage.
I fucked her up way more. That's basically what he's saying.
I really devastated your communications officer. And then they send a couple of red shirts to take Nomad to holding, basically. They call it a waiting room, but it's
Kirk's like, these guys are going to take you to a waiting room. And he comes over to security and he's like, take him to the brig at the top.
Yeah, so they're like, you're going to put a killer robot in and we find out it is not very effective.
Oh, no, of course not.
But you're going to put a killer robot in an energy field cell.
I will admit, it was pretty smooth how he did it, though.
Yeah. He basically says, you have to go wait while we're
gonna figure something out.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
And so then we get to Spock is like examining Nomad, but Nomad won't lower his screens, which are basically his shields or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Kirk, the creator, forces Nomad to lower his screens.
Yeah, and then I looked away for a second. I looked up and I see I see Spock putting his hands on the Nomad robot, and I'm like, Adam, is he really gonna mind meld with this?
He doesn't mind meld with him yet.
Or
but he will. He will.
Yeah. They do talk it out.
Because we do get because he can't really sense. He doesn't really get anything from his scans. But then we get the first re-education of Uhura scene where Nurse Chapel...
She's just reading a sentence in English.
This kind of bums me out because it's like a proper white lady teaching a black lady how to read.
Jesus.
I'm not trying... Look, I'm not part of the woke mob.
But
Don't come at me, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But it is a well-spoken white lady teaching a black lady how to read. And it's definitely got white savior vibes.
Do you know what ruins it too also, though, is that they're like, well, okay, Scotty's dead. I get that. But it's like they don't figure out some Star Trek shit to figure it out. They're just like, you know what? Well, we'll just have to re-educate her all over again.
Teach her everything that she's ever known again.
In about a week.
But it feels like she's still... And it could have been very easy for them to say, as we teach her stuff, it will revive those memories. That's all they would have had to say. That's why, because I
think it's the term. Yeah, you're right. Re-educating, that just comes off.
By the end of this episode, she's already at a college level. And so I think that's actually what's happening. I feel like the story knew better than the writers.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense if you say, as she's learning, it reactivates those cells that had those memories in them or whatever. Because that's kind of what seems like what's happening. And that's it. She says, is there anything else? Chapel says, is there not anything we can do for Bones? And Bones is like, we've got all the books and all the tapes and shit. So we just gotta have her go through them.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. It's kind of like with Space Seed, though, when Khan's like, can I read all your books real quick, please? And they're like, yeah, sure, I guess.
Definitely.
It's all right here.
Humans carry their history with them at all times. That's
interesting.
That's actually that's what the Federation is doing, right? They're extending content. They're extending human history into the cosmos, basically. So they have. They're a superpowered spaceship. Of course, they're going to have an encyclopedia or whatever. But you know what I mean? It's also part of the mission is to have that information.
Yeah, true.
To share
the peaceful
specifically. Mission. Yeah. And so now Spock is throwing the wild card out. He's saying, hey, I want to mind meld with this shit.
Yeah, this is the part that really fucked me up.
Touchy-feely with this fucking robot, with this floating robot.
Damn it, lower your shields, Nomad.
And then, and Kirk explains to Nomad, Kirk is like, look, you saw what it did with Uhura. You're going to touch that thing's brain?
Yeah, and
Spock says it's worth it.
Yeah, you got to figure something out.
What Spock says is, I may have a hypothesis and I want to check it out. Sounds like a good reason to risk your brain.
Yeah, that's some Spock shit, though. He's pretty hard. Again, back to the motion picture when he goes straight into that fucking hole.
Yes.
That's some Spock shit. He doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, and also...
he goes head first for knowledge,
Yeah, and Kirk had to tell him... Spock, Kirk had to tell Nomad to lower his screens, like you said.
Yeah.
And he told him, First Officer Spock is going to physically touch you, but it's not an attack, it's a form of communication, which is kind of correct. And Nomad's lights are flickering, and then Nomad starts speaking through Spock. It's like Spock is like reading Nomad's mind. And
he's what is it? Verbalizing the stories and shit.
Exactly. It's the history of Nomad. He's floating in space. It's a deep darkness. There's a collision and then blackness. And then he says, I am Tanru. So then there's an alien named Tanru that merged with Nomad. Tanru, Nomad. We are Nomad. And
it
then,
just gets kind of creepier and creepier the more he goes on and just says error, flaw, imperfection.
must sterilize.
Yeah.
That all comes back at the end. So basically, he's saying that I am Tanru Nomad and I have to sterilize and disinfect errors.
And make everything perfect.
And make everything perfect. And then Leonard Nimoy does some real ass acting.
This part's creepy.
He's like hugging Nomad and the camera's stationary, but Leonard Nimoy keeps like moving around Nomad and he's just talking about all the power that he has.
He's like, we are complete.
Yeah, this is creepy.
I don't know what he's. What is that Gunta Nu?
That's Tanru's language, I would imagine. Yeah,
probably.
And so basically, they're searching for the creator to identify and sterilize imperfections. And we are Nomad.
The music's pretty uneasy too.
We are instructed to. Oh, and then as Spock lets go, he's still in the mind meld, and Kirk has to shake him the fuck out of it.
And then he goes, "Nomad, stop."
And Nomad does stop, and then they run out. They put Nomad back in the cell with the energy field and the two red shirts outside who are not long for this world. And then Spock explains what happened. There was damage in deep space. The probe merged with a probe from an alien planet of great power. And so this is what's fucking awesome about this whole thing is the probe that the aliens sent out, its mission was to find and sterilize soil samples from planets, probably to find somewhere to be habitable, right? So they just send a probe out that's going to find and sterilize soil samples, and then we send the Nomad probe out to search for new life. And they smash into each other, and it gets confused, right? So now it's like I'm seeking out and sterilizing new life.
Oh, that's so fucked up. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they see it as imperfections. And then this is when Nomad goes to the engine room and he hot rods the Enterprise. Creepy.
And Scotty's like telling everybody to get to their stations, and they're like, "Hey, make sure he doesn't fucking touch shit." Back up, and he's backing up. Again, there's like so many moments in this episode where you're just like, ugh, uneasy, cringing, uncomfortable, you know?
So basically, Nomad is checking out their engines.
Yep.
And he says, these engines are shitty and inefficient.
This is the matter propulsion drive.
Inefficiency exists in the antimatter input valve. I will effect repair. This shit sucks shit. And so he makes the Enterprise go way faster than it's supposed to.
Scotty's like, how are you doing that?
And then Kirk has to tell him to stop, because even though he can make them go that fast, they're not built to go that fast.
Yeah, the whole tears.
And that could be seen as an imperfection to Nomad.
Oh, yeah, true.
So he
increased the efficiency by 57%.
And this is what I don't like.
Kirk's like, please stop.
So then he just completely undoes it, and the ship slows down again. But if I was Kirk, I would have been like, dial it back 30% and then teach Scott how you did that. And now we'll be good. We're even faster.
See, Adam, you've seen way too many episodes now. You just know how to figure all these life forms out.
Yeah, they should just ask me to talk to Nomad.
The second season, though, has been so far of like confronting shit and just trying to get rid of it as soon as possible, rather than like...
Yeah, we talked about that.
Holding life.
We'll put a placeholder for the end of the episode, but we talked about how back to back. So this is so much different than episode 2, Who Mourns for Adonis, but it deals with a lot of the same themes in that they have to decide what they're going to do with this super powerful thing that's like the only thing of its kind, right? So it's technically, like Spock says, it's basically life. And
true.
And so they have to, and Kirk says, I don't want to kill it, but I have to render it harmless. That's his goal. And then this is where Kirk fucks up and goes against Spock's better judgment and his own. He says, how can biological units be in error? I'm a biological unit, and I created you, motherfucker. And Spock is like,
I mean... And then he left, and he was like, well, okay, that was a little smart for the time being. But then at the same time, like, Spock goes, Nomad associates humans with inconsistency. You labeling yourself as a human makes him think you're an inconsistency, dude. And he goes, oh, fuck.
Well, and before that, when like before Nomad leaves, in the engine room there, Kirk is like, I've given you he goes, I'm programmed to investigate. I'm not just going to sit in that cell. I'm going to learn what you're up to. And Kirk is like, I've given you new programming. You must be chill and not fuck with us. And he says, Nomad says, I must reevaluate. And then Nomad says, there is much to be considered before I return to my launch point of origin. And then he just kind of backs out very menacingly. And
then here we go. We got the POV shot.
Yep, POV shot of him kind of scooting through. Going to go through a door. And there's the two red shirts. Now they're just going to take him back to the cell. And Kirk and Spock are talking. Right? Yeah, it doesn't quite happen that way.
Oh, right. And then he goes, wait, he's going to reevaluate? And Spock's like, yeah.
He's reevaluating?
And Spock's like, you kind of fucked up back there, my man.
I wonder what he's got to reevaluate about his creator. And then Spock's like, look, yes, we should be worried about him reevaluating you, but also
he said on Earth. Yeah.
And he going to kill everybody.
There's definitely some imperfections on Earth.
There's definitely. Tell me about it. There's a couple right here. It's infested with imperfect biological units. And so then we've got Nomad is being ushered back to his cell, his holding cell.
Somehow.
But he decides he's not going to go. And then he zaps two people to death.
Two red shirts.
I feel like he'd already killed two earlier, and we went past it. Yeah. So he's now killed 4 people with red laser blasts.
Just completely dissipate.
It's a great effect too, because you can tell like where they have like the panel that they use to split the frame or whatever, because there's a hard edge where they hit.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. I love it. And we watched the side-by-side of this, and they didn't change too much with the beams.
It was more of the ships.
And Nomad's just making his way through the ship, and he has turned off all life support, and he searched. He knocked out Chapel. Why he didn't just beam her, I don't know. But he knocked out Chapel, and what was he looking for in sickbay? Information about Kirk, his medical history.
Oh, shit.
He's reevaluating things.
Yeah.
And this is where we have our face-off.
This is a pretty cool face-off. And like you said, it's very Star Trek for Kirk to just fight. Not necessarily an alien, but I guess a form of life, which is a robot, which is kind of like V'ger and all that, too.
Oh, and we'll talk about that at the end.
Length.
So Kirk is just saying, I'm a and this is where Kirk gets him with the robo logic. So ultimately, we're just going to cut to the chase here. Kirk does the thing that you do if you're ever being attacked by an evil robot.
That's
he uses his own logic against it.
Yeah, right.
Because Kirk says, I'm a biological unit. I'm your creator. If I'm imperfect, you're imperfect. And he says non sequitur. And he says, you are my creator, Kirk. You are the Kirk. And Kirk says, but I'm not your creator. Yeah. I'm not your creator, motherfucker. Your creator was Jackson Roy Kirk, and he died 400 years ago, which means you're in error, motherfucker. Yeah, and he's like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, he's like, you've made a mistake. You're imperfect.
Yep.
And you didn't even figure out that I wasn't Kirk, so that's another mistake.
Yep, and then they had Scotty had some anti-grav panels that they put on him, and then they beam him into space, and he fucking blows up.
Yeah, and this explosion again, they definitely boosted. Obviously,
with the HD.
Yeah, it's the probe
CG.
And then the CG. It was the probe like arriving and the explosion that were cool. But it's funny too. I love the quip at the end. So they blow it up, right? They capture it
before we get to that. I also want to notice they're watching the explosion through one of those little view screeny and it's so bright that they look away from the little screen. But yeah, so let's get to the. So now the thing blew up, and then we get our traditional ending on the bridge.
Yep. And Spock's like, dude, that was pretty cool. That was a very smart play, logic wise. And he's like, well, I mean, I watch you all the time, so. And then Bones comes in.
Lieutenant Uhura is a goddamn college graduate now.
Great.
Now she's just got to learn everything about 138 languages so that she can be and Spock is lamenting the loss of the probe because it could have been a great benefit to humanity. And Kirk says, what are you feeling so bad about? It's not easy to lose a bright and promising son. Kirk is making jokes about how he was the evil thing's mother. Yeah. Not father, which is funny.
I know. And he's like, you saw what it did to Scotty? I mean, what a doctor it would have made. My son, the doctor. It's so funny.
And at this point, I want to remind you that 4 men are dead.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Adam, 4 people died. And he's just like,
4 men.
So funny. I was his little daddy. Like, it's so weird.
4 men have their children are orphans. Or their children have no father now.
Oh, God. They have to write those letters home.
Yeah.
Now to write those 4 letters. I
really quipped it up though after the faceless men died.
That also reminds me of the one where I forgot which episode it was, but this couple was about to get married and then an emergency happens and then the husband dies. And he was the only one that died. And Kirk was like, well, it sucks. You're on a starship.
Fitch happens, as they say.
Thoughts?
I like this episode. I don't think it's really the Changeling as a title doesn't work for me because what Changelings were is they were like a goblin kind of thing that an evil fairy would replace a baby with, right?
Yeah.
And then it would grow up in place of the baby. But that's not what happened. It's not like the probe is like hiding inside of Nomad to get to Earth to kill things. You know, it's just 2 technologies
combined. 2 things that merge. I'm imagining more of like something side by side merging rather than like something going into something else.
Yeah, it's just like the elephant in the room is this is so much like the plot of Star Trek the motion picture with V'ger. And because V'ger was a probe that Earth sent out and it got all fucked up from outer space or was found by an alien culture or something, and then it came back to destroy Earth, but it wasn't trying to destroy. And it's also kind of like Star Trek 4 with the probe that's destroying Earth in the oceans, trying to communicate to the whales.
It's so cool though. Good thing you made us watch those because like it's like cool how they see how you flesh out these bigger ideas, you know? And like that's I think what we like so much about this episode too is that you could have made an episode about Uhura learning all of her shit. You could have made an episode about Scotty going to the other side. You could have made a whole episode about like the implications of like what other technology that we shot out there that we thought exploded that could be merging with other things. Mm-hmm. But we'll probably see that in future episodes here. But that's what makes this more exciting is that like the danger's on the bridge, and I think we like seeing more of the bridge and like
I like being on the fucking ship, dog. That's why whenever there's a movie or an episode or something where the Enterprise blows up right away,
or they go to another place,
and they're on some other ship, or they're on some like I want
there's going to be a B plot about this ship.
I want half to 2/3 of the episode to take place on the fucking Enterprise.
Right.
And you can call me a baby. I think that a lot of those...
Balance of Terror, that was the first time I was like, this show is unreal. Like,
yeah, great.
And there was just 2 subs.
And so that's definitely one of the reasons why, even though there are a lot of... It's just so Star Trek. There's so many similarities to so many things before it and after it. I really loved this episode. I am just going to tell me what you thought of it while I take a look at my notes.
Problem. So let's see. I guess, it had a lot of like, ties or connections with V'ger too, but that's obviously like us thinking of the movie. But overall, it was such a breath of fresh air compared to like the whole Saturday morning cartoon stuff. It just felt like they had more at stake. And it was pretty cruel, and especially after you brought it up of how, like, Uhura was just kind of cast aside, and it was like, oh, she'll just learn everything again. I mean, apparently she learns pretty quick, but, like, I don't know. Other than that, I think the practical effects were probably one of my favorite parts of just, Nomad floating around and making everyone creeped and uncomfortable.
Wouldn't it have been fucking hilarious if when they did the CG remaster, they would have like just replaced him with a CG character? Like, I think
that'd have been a shame.
I know, but I just, there's somebody that wanted to do it. Like,
for sure.
Fucking love it. And how Nomad moves through the ship.
I like the POV shots too.
Yeah, it's a well-made episode, and
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, did it kind of already start the whole like trope of like, oh, well, you're bad, so why don't you fix yourself? And then the robot does the error. Like, did it start that whole logic trope, or was that already there?
I feel like that's a relic from like Isaac Asimov and shit.
Right.
Like, I feel like
it's a very universal idea.
The paradox of
the recursion of something.
Yeah, to destroy it's like on The Simpsons when they do a flash forward to Lisa's future. And there's all these robots, and whenever they get sad and cry, they just melt and die, like because it's like does not compute.
Oh god!
But they always do it. Like you want, but yeah, I think it's great. I think that Nomad zapped a bunch of people, and honestly, I think that the way we're doing it, where we have the episode on, I could take fewer notes because I covered everything.
A lot nicer. It feels better too.
Yeah, and so that's the Changeling.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was very...
Why didn't they just call it Nomad?
Yeah, I don't know. Or like the robot, or like I feel like
I think there's an earlier draft of this script where it is like an alien society takes the probe. You know what I mean?
I think there is one that they mention in the compendium.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to say there was a draft of the Apollo episode that Al told me about that we didn't know about when we recorded, where Bones says Carolyn's pregnant.
Yeah.
And he said, Bones says Carolyn's pregnant. And I was like, what happened? And Al said, they got rid of it. And I was like, the baby? And he was like, no, in the next draft of the script, they got rid of that part of the fucking story, you stoned idiot.
I was like, yeah, thank God they didn't go down that. But there is a first draft of the Changeling. It began with a probe called Altair in this version, Altair. Absorbing the power of the 4 proton torpedoes. The probe did not board the Enterprise until Act 2, which at point the Starship personnel made a great deal of curiosity about its capacities and motive power. Scotty was zapped attempting to examine it, restored by the probe, just like in the final version. The probe did not... Oh, wait. Mr. Spock seemed obsessed with the idea of salvaging the probe's knowledge banks, and even pointing out that killing Altair would be an act of murder. So this is more of like... akin of like what you were saying of like him trying to reap the information, but the way it ended with this new script was more of like a threat. It was more of a weapon rather than something for them to figure out. But they let's see, unable to absorb. Oh yeah, so then the captain ordered all literary works into the Starship's computer banks, flash fed into Altair, the robot, unable to absorb the torrential flow of logic. Altair self-destructed. So it's kind of like the same thing, but it's kind of like...
I like this version better.
Yeah, this one's a little better. This one seems more, again, of the other, akin of last week of like a silly solution of like, oh, we're just going to blow up the structure and Apollo's not going to have power anymore.
Yeah.
It's like really simple solutions. Like with fucking Spock's Ponfar. Oh, we'll just knock Kirk out. He'll wake up later. It'll be crazy. We're good. In 40 minutes, it's just like hype and desperation, you know?
Yeah.
But this one felt better. But go ahead.
And I still think it's funny that your description of the earlier draft still doesn't make it more in line with the Changeling myth.
Yeah,
it's just so funny. And we had multi-warp speeds in this. We had stuff going at warp 15. Fucking great. Mm-hmm. I'm pissed that there was no Chekhov.
Yeah.
But other than that, good episode.
He could have said some fucking funny Russian thing. But this was so nice compared to the last one. Just feels better. I don't know. It feels like we're getting more of like a rhythm in the Star Trek.
I forgot we were going to do ratings this season.
Oh, that's true.
We were going to do a comm badges rating. How many comm badges out of 5? I would give this a 4 comm badge out of 5. I liked it.
Yeah, I guess I would give it a 4, maybe a 3, 3.75.
3.5.
Yeah.
But I like 4 because like you can go 4.5, but like if it's a scale of and you know, we'll rate the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's true. We'll do it right now.
Yeah, we'll do it right now. So let's say that like Balance of Terror is like a fucking 5.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the tops. Mm-hmm. Where do you put Season 2, Episode 1
compared to that?
Which was what was Season 2, Episode 1?
The Ponfar thing.
Oh yeah, Amok Spock.
Amok Spock. Yeah.
So what would you put? how many comm badges out of 5 if Balance of Terror is a fucking 5?
It's okay. It's a 4, but it's only because I like Spock.
Oh, I would say it's a 4 easily. Fucking I love that. I love all the Pon Farr shit.
Yeah.
Because there's also Pon Farr shit in Enterprise.
Well, it's funny how like Spock throws the bowl and everything too. It wasn't quite like a wow, this is amazing Balance of Terror like 5, where like every line's really good. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely if it wasn't about Spock, it would have been like a 3 for me. But I do really like Spock episodes, so that's why it gets that 4. What about you, though?
It was a 4 for me because I love Spock. It was a 4 for me because it had like an arena vibe of like they have to fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I like Kirk fighting Spock. Everybody was so hot in that episode.
As much as I bash the solution, it is hilarious, and I do like how they figure it out.
How it plays out with Spock thinking Kirk's actually dead.
No, and Kirk
it
being
might be
like
a 4.25 actually. I think
Kirk's
I like it better than a 4.
Fight to the death, like whoops.
Love it.
Like that's pretty silly, but.
Who Mourns for Adonis? I would give a 2.5.
Really?
I would say 50. I would say it's a D plus.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. Honestly, I had to watch it just for the podcast, maybe a second time. Like once I feel like something is for the podcast, it's like, all right, maybe it's a little lower than a 3.
Yeah,
I like the guest actor a lot though, so maybe it's like a 2.7.
When it feels yeah, there you go.
Maybe around there, but
when
still.
It feels like homework for something you make no money on, it's like I get it. So yeah, and then I think that today's episode, what did we already rate it? I gave it a 4.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty solid.
So that's the first 3. And I even put at the top of my notes, don't forget the ratings at the
there
end.
There you go. Well, now we do have a system.
And at the end of these episodes, we always recommend some kind of media or a movie or music or something. Do you have anything for this one?
No, you can go first, actually.
Oh, so I see what you're doing. Well, I would say watch Lower Decks. Well, actually, is that a Struck company? I'm not in the union, so I can't. It just feels weird. But there's so much good stuff. All I can recommend is. There's a lot of good new Star Trek stuff out there. This most recent season of fucking Strange New Worlds has just been absolute banger. Like everybody should get into this new Star Trek. And I know it seems the whole point of this recommendation area is to recommend something that's not Star Trek. But
no, I wanted to say, did you saw Ahsoka? Was that okay?
Oh, so Ahsoka has been
seen
good.
It yet, but.
Oh, and I guess, to be fair, there is a lot of TV to recommend. I don't know that I would recommend Ahsoka unless you really love Clone Wars and Rebels. Mm-hmm. It's really Clone Wars and Rebels adjacent. You have everything that they say and reference goes back to that stuff more so than Mando or it's like Bad Batch kind of in that.
Also, what was I going to recommend? My Adventures with Superman. I don't know if I recommended that, but that's pretty good.
I'm 4 episodes in. I really like it.
Jack Quaid is the
Superman.
Superman, yeah. He does
Star
a pretty
Trek
good job.
Connection.
Yeah, I was pretty interested about that. I was like, he sounds really different. And then I looked him up and I was like, oh, no wonder. And then everybody's been fucking loving the Lois Lane character, though.
She's great.
Really smart. But I mean, she's pretty crazy, though, to jump off a building.
Yeah, they do a good job of her figuring out he's Superman pretty quick.
Fucking hilarious.
And I enjoy the animation style.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a hybrid of anime and sort of an Batman the Animated Series kind of vibe.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out their footing without being too on the nose. Invincible, I feel is more on the nose with that animation style.
Definitely.
And then what else? Harley Quinn, that's been pretty good. The new stuff, yeah.
Just makes me laugh. I don't like...
Joker's a bad guy again, right?
Yeah, Joker's a bad guy again.
God, the way he convinces his family to be bad is hilarious.
I just think that I don't like what they're doing with Poison Ivy, but they've done such a good job of building up to it. This has always been her character. This has always been her goal.
Yeah, and it's pretty to me, I don't like that Harley Quinn's, part of the Bat family, quote unquote, but it's it's a show. They can do whatever they want.
I'm glad. I think it's funny that she's a hero, but also I think that it should be pretty obvious to anybody that their relationship isn't going to work.
Of course, that's the whole crux of it, right?
But yeah, that's it. And it's really funny, and good people wrote it.
I'm sure
and
it'll
those
crescendo to something good.
The people
those people
who,
deserve more pay.
They deserve more pay. All the actors.
Here, all the actors too.
Same thing
Everyone
with Star
involved.
Trek.
Seriously,
yeah, we stand with SAG and the WGA, and we
do.
We're not affected. We have all this content to talk about from back in the day. So, but that's it.
Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Check out next week.
What's next week's episode?
Oh, that's right. We do that sometimes.
You said this was a really good one.
It's Mirror. Yeah, this is the it's good and it's bad. I like the episode a lot, and the costumes are fucking great. But it does create the mirror universe, which I think is it has made some of the best episodes and some of the worst episodes.
Okay.
So, but I'm excited about it. So Mirror next week, and then listen to the bumper because it tells you all of our social media stuff is in the. Just listen to the bumper.
Yeah.
Listen.
Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Bye.
Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam, mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.